Good morning, everyone. Well, we're already dealing with rain in Iowa this morning, but this is activity ahead of the cold front. We still have the cold front coming in the afternoons. That means the rain chance will be sticking around. So let's talk about rain for the morning commute. Definitely a chance for everyone this morning from western Iowa over to eastern Iowa. I will say, though, for the Quad Cities, the rain chance may not begin until 8 a.m. So the earlier you can get on the road, the better. The more likely you're going to have a dry drive. But after 8 a.m., it's probably going to be tough. I will say that the best chance of rain is looking like the late morning hours for the Quad Cities. That's the better opportunity. And we're talking about mostly showers this morning. Could there be some weak storms around? Yes, but not worried about any severe storms. Notice in the late morning hours, actually some gaps showing up in the western part of the state temporarily. But notice what happens when we jump ahead to noon. Notice how it starts to fill in again. Now, still some gaps showing up just about anywhere in the state, but more likely that rain is going to be around than not from Sioux City on over to the Quad Cities. But notice still just green, a little bit of yellow showing up, indicating the possibility for some weak storms, but mostly still shower activity. Now, by the time we get to 2 o'clock, notice a little bit more yellow and orange showing up, particularly in the central part of the state. That's the cold front pushing in. And once we get into the afternoon hours and get some daytime heating to occur, though we're probably not going to see a lot considering all the clouds and rain that are going to be around. But we will have a better opportunity of actually seeing some thunderstorms pop up along that front. And notice the difference in temperatures as well. See how the temperatures have dropped around Sioux City at 2 o'clock, sitting in the upper 70s, and then an area of the low 80s, and then mid to upper 80s ahead of that front. So now let's jump ahead to 4 o'clock, and notice how also temperatures rebound in the western part of the state. Once the clouds break up, the rain clears out. So we'll probably still reach the mid 80s in Sioux City, but the humidity lower this afternoon as that drier air comes in. So obviously this isn't the strongest cold front. We're still going to be sitting in the mid 80s in the afternoon. I will mention also behind the front it's going to get breezy. So for central and western Iowa, I will call it a breezy afternoon, but actually there's not going to be much wind in the eastern part of the state until maybe the very late afternoon, early evening hours behind the front. And I do also have to mention, I'm pausing it here at 4 o'clock, to mention the small chance that we might see a couple of severe storms in the late afternoon as this front pushes across the last eastern third or so of Iowa. Again, the chance is low, but because of the timing here in the late afternoon, could we get a storm or two to overachieve and be severe? It's not impossible. The chance is low. And I do think it's a small window of opportunity during the late afternoon hours. I'll tell you what, probably by 6 o'clock, the front is going to be clear of us. So most concerned about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But once we get to 6, 7, that front off to the east. Now, I still think there are going to be some isolated showers, maybe a weak storm after 6 o'clock, but the chance for any severe storms is going to be over with. We jump ahead to 10 o'clock, and that is going to be it for the rain chances. So just a small chance, mainly for the eastern half of the state, between 6 and 10 o'clock. So for that severe threat, it is limited to the far eastern part of the state: Cedar Rapids, Ottumwa, Dubuque, Quad Cities, Muscatine. And I do want to stress this is the marginal risk level 1 out of 5. Most likely what we're going to see as this front works over us during the late afternoon hours, just regular thunderstorms, heavy rain, and lightning. Just enough ingredients are there where we can't completely rule out some wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and some penny-size hail in a worst-case scenario.